Netflix has dropped another trailer for the Tomb Raider anime. I don't know why they're calling it an anime. It's not made in Japan. It is not Japanese animation. It is a cartoon. But I guess Tomb Raider cartoon doesn't sound as cool. I don't know. If you're going to make a Tomb Raider anime, outsource it to Japan. But anyway, the Tomb Raider cartoon trailer has dropped and it's very underwhelming. So let me go ahead and dive into this video. My biggest gripe with all of this is that Lara Croft is just too masculine looking. I feel like they just can't get it right. It's obviously the remasters did because they hired fans for that, but that wasn't even made by Crystal Dynamics or anything like that. And while this Netflix stuff isn't made by Crystal Dynamics either, they obviously had to have some sort of hand in it, approvals, so on and so forth, I would imagine. But Netflix is known for a lot of its woke content, for a lot of its taking characters and turning them into lesbians and so on and so forth. And I would not be surprised if they do that with Lara Croft as well, because Crystal Dynamics seemingly want to do the same. So they either, and here's what we've seen with Crystal Dynamics in their reboot version of Lara Croft. In the reboot version, she's just feels so helpless and so needy all the time. And that's just not Lara Croft. Apart from also the changes in her design and all of that. They changed her from that statuesque, 5'9", curvy, confident woman to this very needy, helpless little mouse. They even call her Little Bird in it. That's way off. And so the Netflix version, okay, they give her seemingly some confidence back, which I'll show you guys a bit of the trailer here, but in a brute way, in a very masculine way. They don't know, or they don't want to give that feminine confidence, femme fatale vibe of like, hey, she's confident, she's beautiful, she owns it, she is a rebel, she does what she wants, and she doesn't have to be a man to do that. So it's so backwards. How do these people want to pretend like they're all about girl power and all this stuff when they make the girl like a dude? It's absurd. So anyway, here we have I never had that big of an issue with the face per se. I mean, I do in some other frames. In this one, I don't as much. But in some of the other frames, I do more. It's the body type. They gave her a very masculine barrel chest, very big boned, very bulky body type. So it's just not that feminine, curvy look. So anyway, here's her falling in the water again, like we've seen this in Shadow. So yeah, here, I mean, this kind of looks like a dude. Obviously, like, look, where are her breasts? And it's like people always, their rebuttals are always, oh, you just want to fap to this. First of all, I'm straight. Secondly, why can't a woman look like a woman? I understand there's different body types, but Lara Croft's body type is not this. So to change it deliberately says something. And this looks, if I just saw this frame and it didn't say Tomb Raider, does this not look like a dude? Does this not look like a teenager boy? Or like a young 20s? It straight up looks like a dude, even when, look. That looks like a man. Her widest part is the shoulders, very broad, wide shoulders, and it tapers down. The hips do not flare out at all. Oh my goodness. Very masculine looking body. So here you have this, and I will say I like the confidence more than I like what I've seen in the reboots games where she was constantly, oh no, oh my goodness, and she had little brief moments, but they just didn't do it right. They made her, when she was confident, she was more on the whiny side. So they couldn't get it right. The confidence I do like, but I just, there's the lack of femininity here to go with it. it could be worse with her face and stuff, but still, it's not exactly ideal. And here, like, take that ponytail and you got a dude. That looks like a dude. And what's this? That looks like a dude. Yeah. Yeah. So there's Jonah. Cringe. Oh no. This whole thing is basically Lara Croft BFF Adventures. And it's not supposed to be that. Lara Croft is supposed to be a loner. But I digress. So then you got this. We've seen this frame so many times. A lot of this, I would just outright play it, but I'll get copyright striked. Here she has a shotgun, which is cool, but I just don't like her look. I'm all for campiness and stuff, so I do like the campiness of this, but she just looks too masculine. Look at this. That is just a very masculine, barrel-chested, and there's a difference between barrel-chested and her just being, like, because they still made her breast, like, smaller. And again, there's nothing wrong with characters who have smaller breasts, but as long as they still look like a woman, and in this case, she's just got a very androgynous body type. Like, is it a butch woman? Is it a prepubescent boy? I mean, look at her from the side. Look at that. The chest is really barreled out. The bone structure, the rib cage, very barreled out. That's her widest point, is this. When her widest point should, I mean, it could be her widest point with this if it were just for the breast, or here, the hips. I mean, this honestly should be the widest point, but it's not. That the back, the rib cage is the widest point on her. And yeah, here we go. Like, this is a very, right here in this frame, this is looking pretty androgynous, this face. Yeah, like, if you took that ponytail out and you lightened the upper lip, you would think that was a dude. So I'm just not impressed. I'm not impressed. I like what Meme said here. Meme Beatard says, this is not anime. Does Netflix understand anime is not made in America? Exactly. So I made some posts about it also on this comparison. It's kind of hilarious. We're getting a Treasure Island too, you guys. So I also made this tweet because people talk about, oh, it's animation limitations. But that's not the case. They can make a feminine looking woman. And so I said here, Tomb Raider revisioned animation in 2007 where Lara Croft still looked very womanly, and Netflix's Tomb Raider now, why did they have to make her more butch? This is Peter Chung's style, so I understand if the exact style itself isn't for everyone. He has a very unique, a very even kind of abstract, if not odd, art style. I personally love it. He's one of my favorite artists, but I understand it's not for everyone. So I'm not saying she has to look like straight out of Aeon Flux or something like that, but just giving an example of how she is still portrayed very feminine, very womanly, and see how she's confident, but she doesn't have to be masculine to be confident. She is just all woman. And I love that. And then you've got this, which is a very androgynous body type, a very bulky body type. I'm not opposed to Lara Croft having good muscle definition, but she needs to in a womanly way, not in a very masculine looking way. So someone was kind of debating with me on this. And then he said, well, she's too skinny with exaggerated this and that and the other because he didn't like Peter Chung's style. And then showed examples here, which obviously I love this example. This is from the remasters, and I think she looks amazing here. She's got the curves, very womanly figure. Is it an exaggerated figure? Yes, there is some exaggeration to it, but it's an art style. It's not realism. Just like this isn't realism either. How many women do you see looking like this? Not that many. This is also an exaggerated art style, but the difference is it's exaggerated to make her look more masculine. So there's this, and then he showed this AI art. as an example, which her face obviously looks nothing like Lara Croft. But in terms of the build, if you wanted to make her more muscular, I think a similar build to this would work. Granted, this girl looks very short, and Lara Croft is supposed to be 5'9". So obviously there would need to be some height there. I do think this is leaning on a little too bulky because, I mean, Lara Croft's legs were muscular and all that, but they were still, she still had a very svelte body type, and I think they should keep it that way. So balance the curves and the muscle tone with still being svelte. She still does acrobatics and things like that, and it's a lot more difficult with people with more weight and more bulk to perform acrobatics than a more lean body type. So I do think she should be a bit more lean and a bit more taller than this. Obviously, again, the face is not it. This is a bit too short and a little too bulky, but with some height and a little bit more lean, I think something like that could work. Nobody is opposed to Lara Croft having muscle definition. She's had it before, but in the right way, not in a masculine, bulky way. So then I said, I think the AI one should be taller. And then this reply says, there's no canonical mention of her for her body and height, which is, and then he's guessing 5'8", 5'10". This is weird to me. This is obviously somebody who doesn't know about Lara Croft that much, because Lara Croft did have a canon height and weight. I think it's absurd to even say, oh no, they didn't give her. Yes, they did. Why are all the detractors and all the people who argue with me about how Lara Croft should look and everyone defending this? They know nothing about Lara Croft as a character. Half of them can't even spell her name right, and the other half don't even know the very basics. And I don't expect everyone to be a super fan, but maybe if you're not a super fan, don't try to correct someone who is, because you don't know crap. I'm like, do you not know Lara Croft's history and bio? Lara Croft's height and weight absolutely were mentioned and are canon. She's 5'9" and 131 pounds. So yeah, a 5'9", 131 pound build. She is going to be, especially with some muscle tone, she will be lean but strong with that with those kind of stats. So yeah. Anyway, oh, that's my thoughts on everything. Yes, I dissected an entire trailer. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what this is, I got a bunny, which I posted on my community post, and then I also posted on a bunch of my Instagram stories and stuff. I'll put like a video over here or something so you guys can see. His name is Toji, assuming he's a boy. I mean, they told me he was a boy, but he's young. I didn't realize. I got him at like a farmer's market type thing. When I saw him, I just couldn't say no. I didn't plan on getting a bunny that day, but when I just went to that farmer's market type thing with my mom and my aunt, and I saw him and I had to have him. He's so cute, but apparently he's only like 5 weeks old, a few days more than that now. And then I go to like these bunny forums and stuff, and they say, oh, they're not supposed to be separated from their mother, and they're not supposed to be adopted out until they're like 8 weeks old. So yeah, that's why I'm not pulling him out right now and showing you guys, because he's just a little baby, and I don't want to scare him. Granted, he's pretty tame. He kind of gets a little scared if I pick him up, but he loves the pet. He loves to be pet. Loves pets already, so I'm excited. I'm not gonna go too much on a tangent about my bunny, but I will show him to you guys soon. I'm also gonna get a different setup. This is just temporary, this little bunny playpen, but I have a different setup that's gonna be a lot more open, so in my videos and stuff you should be able to see him hop around, especially once I get him litter trained and all that. Then he can be hopping around the whole room and all that, and I cord proof bunny proof everything. Anyway, there's that. But yeah, I just dissected an entire video about Lara Croft and how she should look. I know that is in the obsessive and nerdy, get a life territory, but it is what it is. I love Lara Croft. Like, I grew up with her being my hero, so I care a lot. I just care a whole lot. And yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you want to catch my Bible videos, you can watch those at Bible Time with Melanie Mack on YouTube. And then for my weekly streams on Thursdays, where we just hang out and talk about all the stuff going on, you can watch them as well here on Thursdays at, what time would that be? Eastern? 9 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.